Hi, I'm Jim from the ModelShipwright.com. There are a lot of tools available to us that are useful in model shipbuilding. When it comes to cutting or material removal, handy tools that most people would think of include knives, chisels, rasps, files, and sandpaper. One tool that a lot of people may not think of at first for such delicate work is a saw. But just as our other hobby tools are miniature versions of larger tools, there are saws sized to work with the small materials we use in model shipbuilding. Now, an old ship modeler I knew used to say, saws are for people that don't have patience. I always took that with a large grain of salt, as I'm pretty sure there were points where he did use a saw, but also as a warning that, as with their full-size partners, mini saws make it easier to get into trouble and remove too much material than other woodworking tools I've noted earlier. And when it comes to saws, there are several kinds that come in handy. This mini miter saw is often referred to as a razor saw. They come with a handle as a single disposable unit or as a blade that fits into a hobby knife handle. These work great for making straight cuts, and you can even get miniature miter boxes to ensure accuracy. But when you need to cut a curved shape, you need a thinner blade. And that's where a frame saw, or what some people call a bow saw, comes in handy. It's a saw that has a frame that supports the blade so it can be thinner and lighter for more delicate cuts. This coping saw is the most common bow saw that you'll see in hardware stores. It's used like a handheld scroll saw, often for cutting moldings in home construction. An even smaller version is a jeweler's saw. This one is available from Model Expo and has adjustable frame size for use with different length blades, with a maximum size of 7.5 inches. It comes with 144 blades, 24 of each from largest to smallest sizes 2, 1, 1/0, 2/0, 3/0, and 4/0. They can be used to cut metal as well as wood and plastic. Here's a chart showing the sizes of the various blades, the thickness of the material they're designed to cut, the thickness of the blade, the depth of the blade, the number of teeth per inch, and the drill bit size needed to fit the blade when doing an interior cut. More on that in just a moment. Here's the same chart in metric measurements for everyone in the civilized world. Don't worry about freeze framing these. You can download them on the ModelShipwright.com. Look in the description for the link to the webpage on this video. Now, back to the reason we gave a drill bit size. A major advantage of a coping saw and jeweler's saw, you can cut inside a piece without starting at the edge. You simply detach one end of the blade, thread it through an opening within the workpiece, and reattach the blade to the frame. That last column in the chart shows the minimum drill bit size for each size blade if you're using the saw this way. When using this method, this saw can cut to a depth of 3 inches from the edge of the piece, so depending on the total size, you may have to do this for multiple sides. I'm just using these old router cut frames as an example, but this saw is really designed for cutting much smaller shapes, especially from sheet metal. There are plenty of videos on jewelry making channels here on YouTube that show just how to do that. For these pieces, interior cutting is not really necessary. You can just cut through the waste wood around the piece to get to the interior. I prefer doing the interior cut though, to keep the waste wood in one piece in case I need a weird shaped piece of wood later. It also makes it easier to trace the outline of the piece you removed in case you need to replace a broken or damaged part. Note that I have the saws set with the teeth pointing down so it cuts on the downstroke. It's much easier to control the cut while pulling, which puts pressure on the frame to keep the blade tight, than pushing, which pulls on the end of the frame. A word on installing the blades. Unlike the coping saw that has pins at the ends of the blades to help hold it in place while tightening the frame, the jeweler's saw has plain blades that are held in place only by tightening the wing bolts on the mounting pads. What I found best to do is to loosen the bolt that holds the frame to size, install the blade, and then tighten the frame by pushing the bottom end before tightening the frame bolt. Now that I have this saw, I'm on the lookout for some project where I can actually use it to do an interior cut, maybe on some sheet brass. When I get a chance to do that, I'll post a little more video on that. There's links in the description to both the eBay and Amazon stores for Model Expo. As usual, those are associate links, so I may earn a small commission if you use those to buy something. Hey, if you like this video, we ask you to hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll be notified when we post more content. And as always, thanks for watching.